When my son starts throwing tantrums or yelling, I've been told I should ignore it so I don't reinforce the behavior. But I'm worried that ignoring him entirely might make him feel like I don't care. What's the right way to handle it? Excellent question. I was actually in San Antonio, Texas, speaking at a conference called ClarityCon through Clarity Child Guidance Center in San Antonio. And this question came up. It was a similar question where people were asking about, like, we've been told to ignore the behavior, but how do we ignore the behavior and still let the child know that we care about them? And that's the distinction I want to make, is there is a difference between ignoring a behavior and ignoring a child. You want to ignore a behavior. You do not want to ignore a child. So if they are throwing a tantrum, yes, it says throwing tantrums or yelling. So if they're throwing a tantrum, let's say they're sitting on the ground and they're banging their fists on the ground and they're going, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to. You can look at them and you can say, I can tell you're having a really tough time. But you're not going to call attention to them banging and screaming, because if you call attention to it, then what that tells them is, ooh, see, this is getting their attention. I need to keep doing this because when I get their attention, I get more of what I want. So you don't call attention to the negative thing that they're doing. But maybe as they're banging, they're, I don't want to, I don't want to. Maybe they stop banging and they go, I don't want to. Then you can look at them and you can go, oh, I know you're having a really tough time, but you are doing a great job not banging your fists on the ground. Now you are not ignoring the child. You are actually praising the child, and you are ignoring all the negative behavior, and you are showing them the way you get more of my attention is by doing the more positive thing. And you're showing them you are the one in control of this. You are the one who can control you. You are doing a great job not banging on the ground anymore. You are sending all sorts of messages through very simple phrases, and you're not ignoring the child, but you are ignoring negative behaviors. This is where things have gotten all sorts of warped and morphed in the world of mental health and in our world today. People say that, therapists say we should just let kids do whatever they want. That is not true. People say that we tell people to ignore their kids. That is not true. People say that we have said that if you just ignore it, it will stop. That's also not true. There is multiple steps associated with all these things. It is not that you just allow your child to do whatever they want. It is not that you ignore your kid. It is not any of those things. It is you have to ignore the negative behavior and give lots of praise, lots of focus, lots of attention on the positive behaviors so that your child sees the way to get your attention is to do more of the positive things that they know they can do. That is really the message that we try to send as therapists, but has gotten warped into, see, they say, just let your kid do whatever you want and don't do anything about it. Just ignore them. That's not what we say. It's not what I say. Maybe other people say it, but I don't say that. I say you have to ignore the negative as much as possible. If it's a dangerous behavior, call it out. If it's something that has to stop, call it out. But if it's just a nuisance, or it's just annoying, or it's not dangerous or in any way unsafe, ignore it and then focus on the good things your child is doing. You can always find something positive that they are doing. If they're screaming and they're banging their fists and they're telling you that they don't want to, you can say, but you know what? You are doing a great job of looking at me while you're trying to talk to me. I can tell you are trying to talk to me. You can always find something. Ignore the negative, focus on the positive, and you are correct. Do not ignore your child, but ignore the negative behavior your child is showing. Ignore the negative, focus on and praise and call attention to anything positive. Then you'll see more of the positive start to happen and less of the negative as the child sees the attention comes when they start doing more of those positive things.